We have 42 people here. And as I had mentioned before, I love starting on time and ending on time. So,
Me too. I hate punishing the people who are here on time waiting.
So as Nicole is here and helping out, letting people in.
Hey, everybody.
So let me just do a kind of a little brief overview today. The first hour-ish, Barry's going to be speaking, inspiring, giving you some great tools to help you talk about your business and think about your business in a really clear way. And then there will be a short bit of time for question and answer with Barry. Then I'm going to move into the business model canvas, the whole business plan suck part of this class. Last Thursday, I went into it a little bit. So if you can make it to the Thursdays, be sure to do that because there's valuable content. This time around, I will be able to cover some of the topic, but I also have lined up some educational videos and other opportunities for you to dig deeper into the business model canvas. So with that, it's going to be a fairly fast-paced class today. Hold on to your seat. Barry Friedman is, first off, a really good friend of mine. We've been friends for, I don't know, maybe 20 years or so. I've seen a lot of his career progress in many ways. He's a performer, world-class juggler, been on lots of TV shows, met so many people, it's incredible. Then I saw his passion change from performing in front of people to helping other performers succeed, basically taking people that were doing birthday parties to getting real gigs on real stages and making real money. So he's a business coach and a really great motivational person in my life, and I hope that he has a good impact on you as well. So with that, Barry.
All righty, thank you so much. Hey, oh wow, like ties, like we got like real, like this is in person. I'm running out on stage, and the truth is tonight I'm actually in a house that we moved into about 6 days ago. There's a whole bunch of construction and remodeling going on, and I just found a corner that looks like there aren't studs showing, so that's really cool. So it makes it very possible. And I moved from Nevada County up where I was for 18 years to Morro Bay. So we're far down San Luis Obispo County, and I just love it. And I'm so glad I still get to be in Rob's life and this amazing class that he's put on a few times. I think I've probably taught 4 or 5 of these, and they're just always so good. My favorite, my happy place in the world is hanging out with entrepreneurs, people who decided not to punch the clock for better or for worse, who are creating something, who have a dream that it just doesn't stop. And just a tad of history for since 1982 through 2016, so 34 years. I was a 4-time world juggling champion. I performed on The Tonight Show, 6 TED Talks, and the O.J. Simpson jury. I did a sequestered show for them, for the old folks on the call. And for those of you who know, O.J. wasn't just a football player. That was good. So I got to do some really neat shows over the years. And 2016, I retired from that. Around 2010, I started shifting my business to is there any way to kill the beeping? Because I have OCD and it's just killing me. I don't know if there's a way to stop every time someone enters, it's beeping. But so in 2016, I retired from that. Around 2011, I started shifting my business into coaching. One thing I was extremely good at was booking a juggling act for an unreasonably good amount of money for Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies, basically the same act that I did at Renaissance festivals for the first 6 years of my career. And then I started working at corporate shows for the next 30 years and all over the world doing shows for corporations. What I realized was that if I had the skills to sell a juggling act to the IBMs, the Fords, the Monsantos, the Pfizers of the world, any other kind of selling was going to be pretty easy. So that was kind of fun. So I channeled all of that into a program called Showbiz Blueprint, which is an online program I run once a year. And that's for entertainers about the business side of show business. So super quick intro. But what was always present for me is the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. And that's what I want to dig into with you guys. very open to questions. I think people are able to use the chat, and I'd welcome questions. We'll stop a couple times at different times for interaction. I really want this to be more of a working session than listening to the big bald man, because that gets pretty uninteresting pretty quickly. So let's have something ready to write with. We're going to be doing some work during this one for sure. All right, let me go to this. I'll share this screen with you guys, and we'll dig in. So I'm going to kill the camera so I don't have to see me, which is great. Let me kill that so I'm not seeing anybody. Good. Business success starts with strong core values, and that's what I kind of want to dig into today is the core values and helping us really, let me stop this for 1 second. Could we just hold your hand? And it's easier for me if when I say, could you raise your hand, if you just hold it right in front of your camera, it's easier to see instead of like this one, it's always hard to count. How many people are here kind of putting together something that's going to eventually be online as opposed to a physical store? So yeah. Okay, so and the rest are working with physical businesses that are out in the world. Can you hold your hand up if it's physical business, brick mortar, something like that? Okay, so yeah, about half and half, but it's a tad weighted towards physical. Great, this is going to help with everything. And Cheryl went with the hand raise. Awesome, very good. That's right. You can still vote. Hey, there's this really cool thing down in the bottom called reactions, and you can do all these things like put your hand up like that. If you're not on camera, you can still do that. You can do a celebration if I say something that's really fun. Little fun Zoom hacks right under reactions on the very bottom. All right, let me go back to that screen share, and let's get ready to do some work in this thing. So business success do start with strong core values, and that's what we're going to do. And this totally applies whether you're doing something online or in the real three-dimensional world. And the placement of this topic in week 2 of this course is so ideal. It sets the stage really for the rest of your course and your business life. And there's a great expression that says how you do anything is how you do everything. And so I can extrapolate this out to say this sets the stage for really the rest of the way of your course, your business life, and your personal life. So having these core values in place, you'll see if you take this work seriously and dig in, it will leak over and become a guiding force in everything that you do. This gives you clarity on what serves you so that you can serve others. There's a reason why they tell you on the airplane to put on your oxygen mask first so that you can help others. Your core values are that oxygen mask. They're what keep you in alignment, keep you in the place of being in control of your life. Because if you're not making decisions, I have an 18-year-old son, and I tell him all the time, if you don't choose what you want to do, there is a world of people who will gladly choose what you will do. So these core values always gives you an umbrella to stand under, a filter to run your decisions through. So this makes a lot of what you're doing, what you may be doing, easier or unnecessary, which is a great quote from a book. Gosh dang it, I blanked on the author's name. It should come to me, but it's called The One Thing. And he really talks in that book about a theory of there's one thing in your life that you can do that makes everything easier or unnecessary. Boy, just think about that. Doesn't it just feel light to even think about everything you're doing easier or unnecessary? Core values will keep decisions from becoming emergencies. Take a screenshot of that or write that down. If I have core values that are strong and clear, it keeps decisions from becoming emergencies. And one other thing it keeps from becoming an emergency is opportunities. If every time an opportunity comes up for you and it's a panic situation, it's an emergency, guess what happens? Those opportunities will quit showing up. Just self-preservation. They will stop showing up to you. So you have to have these core values that you run opportunities, decisions through so that they don't become emergencies. It becomes really easy. Sometimes I just get to say no to things instantly, like when the person's halfway through the sentence because it just doesn't align with core values I have. I just know that. I got asked to be on a board today, and the person was asking this way doing overcoming objections before I even said anything. And I could just tell that was the way they ran their board. And I was like, nope, yeah, didn't want to do it. So great, kindly turn that down, but it was just a core value decision right away. So here's some great news is the core values. And quick side note, it may sound weird or like I'm obsessed with myself, but I will tell you that during this, I speak about me. I use I statements a lot. I don't want to project anything out onto you guys, but if it agrees with you, feel free to grab it. But my core values I don't want to say your core values because I have no idea about you. My core values, the real gold inside of me, it already exists. It exists inside of me. And since they already exist, guess what? I want to empower myself by claiming them. So I'm going to invite you, let's empower ourselves by claiming the gold, the core values that already exist inside of you. And I'm going to ask you to make a list, 90 seconds right now, writing any core values down that you have. Right here is a graphic of mine. I went through these and I just said, these are core values for me. These are things that I have to have in place in my life to operate the way I do. Entrepreneurism, dependability, respect, connection, reliability, courage. Hell yes. Hell yes is a big one for me. I know right away it's something a hell yes for me. And I just follow that. Possibility, accountability, integrity, humor, open-mindedness. These are ones for me. Make your list. I'm going to be quiet for 90 seconds. We'll play the Jeopardy theme 3 times. I was only joking, but since I said it, I'm going to do it. Core values, the things that are absolutes for you. Last 30 seconds, don't sell yourself short. You got the easy ones out now. Dig deeper, dig for the deeper ones. Is it parenting? Is it connection? Is it trust? Yep. All right, that's good. Wow, that was fun. Thank you, YouTube. Use the chat, would you, right now, and drop in the top one from your list? I want to take a look at some of these. Oh, it's pretty loud, I'm so sorry. Yeah, drop the top one that you probably wrote a whole list. What's the one that right now that just, it rises to the top of the list? For me, it's hell yes. Pretty much everything falls under hell yes for me. It's either that, honesty, integrity, passion, value, integrity. Can-do attitude, beautiful, reliability, yeah. These are flying, holy cow. Determination, betterment for all, thank you. Kindness, trust, common ground, connection, hustle, social environment, environmental, transparency. That one gets tricky, doesn't it? Yeah. Compassion, self-love, thank you. Yeah, those are great. Family support, huge, Lisa, yeah. Balance between art and science, fantastic. Yeah. It's a great core values. Perseverance, love that. Courage. Good stuff. All right, let's keep that list here because this is something that's going to keep that front and center with you. Keep that with you. We're going to dig into that. And I'm curious, how does it feel to do that? Could Rob, maybe you could unmute 1 or 2 people who raise their hand or whatever to say, how does it feel to write those out, to see those in front of you? I'd love to hear from 3 people.
Yeah, we can just try to, Paul, you want to go? Paul Sanders?
How does it feel to see that list, Paul?
It felt empowering. Whoops.
Yeah, you're on there. Oh, you were.
It felt empowering.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. That's great.
I'm not seeing a lot of faces on screen, so if your
Oh, I
camera's
see a
off.
whole bunch. Here, I'm gonna ask to unmute Alyssa. I think I did. Elisa, that'd be great if you could.
Okay.
Yep.
What came up for you when you saw that list in front of you?
Yeah, it was very inspiring. It's kind of weird to think about all those things because you don't think about it on a daily basis.
That's right. They just kind of, they melt in, and we're going to do the next
Yeah.
piece of this.
It's nice to see them all together.
I love that. Deanna, I asked you to unmute too. How did it feel for you?
I'd have to agree with Paul. It felt empowering. It seems like there's a lot of like-minded entrepreneurs on the call with us. And so you saw a lot of the same ones. I didn't want to type in some of mine because they were duplicates.
Oh, okay.
Respect.
Yeah, good.
Family. I said laughter, but you had humor on yours, so it's the same thing. I mean, we need that. We need to be
That's
able
a
to
big
help ourselves.
That would probably come right after hell yes for me.
Yeah.
So, oh, Kindred, yeah. Excellent. Okay, very good. Let's go back to this. We're going to do the part 2 of this little bad boy right now, because there's something really interesting that happens, and it's great to hear you. Do you always act from that place, right? From that list of core values? I know for sure I don't. It's impossible to. Who knows who these two girls are? Indigo girls. That's oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Emily and, oh, someone's going to beat me up on this. Only been watching them 30 years. Yeah. Anyway, there's a great lyric from one of their songs that says, darkness has a hunger that's insatiable. And guess what? And lightness has a call that's hard to hear, from Closer to Find, from the Indigo Girls. Very powerful set of lyrics. And right now on the other side of this goal, these core values, what I want to tell you is there is another side, because truly working on core values requires that I look at the whole of my being. Why? Because guess what? Where there is light, there are also shadows, AKA darkness. Where there's light, there's also shadows. That which exists in me will challenge my core values. So there is a part of me that is trying just as hard the other way. And if I don't claim it, if I don't claim that darkness, I won't understand its power. While with it in front of me, it can't sneak up behind me. Now that is one juicy slide right there. But what this is basically talking about, this one, is we just spent this time acknowledging all this bright light gold values and that we really hold dear and near to us. And I'm proposing tonight, I'm submitting to you that there is another side inside of us that is the darkness, the light and the darkness, that relationship. And if we don't claim it, we can't understand its power. But understanding it, with it in front of me, it can't sneak up from behind me and take over. And that great sentence at the bottom, if I hate something, it owns me. Boy, can we think about that in terms of a situation, a location, a person, an incident. If I hate something, it owns me. So let's claim it. Let's get down and get real on this and break it down. Will you empower yourself by claiming that which might threaten your core values, those gold core values that we just wrote down? Will you do it? Will you make that list? 90 seconds of writing what might sneak in. Again, happy to share mine. These are all straight from the darkness side. This is the stuff that's inside, small, sneaky. I'm a lone wolf. I have to do it alone. I'm unnoticeable, fear, scared, unworthy. That I'm a special boy, that I'm lethargic, disconnected, negative, flaky, too old, unlikable. These are just as equal. We've heard enough Jeopardy music for the night, but I'm going to start just a timer for 90 seconds. And you guys, I really invite you to jump into this one. What are the parts of us that we don't post on social media that are in there? And know that I'm not going to go live on this one unless I will make the option available, but I'm certainly not going to call on anybody. But if you want to share one or two at the end, wonderful. But get real with yourself. Dig deep for the last 20 seconds. Find one that's kind of hard to write, but you know it's there. It's been there your whole life. Yeah, that one. There we go. Whew. Congratulations. You see some faces. How'd that one feel to let go of? Feel free to either unmute yourself or raise your hand. Yeah, Paul will shake your hand. You can search. I think I was one of the very early users on Facebook. I had done a show for them, for some of the founders of that when it was just getting started, who I met at a TED conference. And I actually have facebook.com/BarryF. I got in early enough to get my own when they were giving those out. But you can search my entire history. You'll never see a post that says, wow, woke up this morning, tried to work on something, but I feel old, unworthy, and scared. I never post that stuff, but that's inside. That always lives inside. There's the two. Yeah, procrastination, fear, failure. Yeah, there's that part of us, that shadow mission part of us that just wants this just as bad. I'm focus challenged. Yeah. Oh, yep. All that stuff. Self-doubt or USA. Yeah. Nice ownership on those. Yeah. And that's something. Focus challenged. Dimming my light. Yeah. Aloof. Yeah. When I don't have a shadow core value of mine that tries to sneak in and run the show a lot for me is I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. Not being good enough. Yeah, thanks for owning these. Really good. Not good enough. There's one right after I said that, Lacey. Thank you. Yeah. Got that one with you. Judgy people. I was just in a class. I was just in this group online last month. It was so funny. The exercise was to write down all the judgments you have for 7 days. And one of the guys on the line in the Zoom meeting, he said, so do we just start judging people now? And the facilitator goes, dude, you've been judging people your whole life. We're just starting to write it down now. It was so funny. It was the best. Such an eye opener. Yeah. Smart gift itself. Wow. Larita, thanks. That's, yeah, not wanting to share that. Woo. All right. Check this out now. Let's take this little fun walk. So do you always operate from that place? No chance. Not a chance. But look at this. On my screen in my left hand, I have all these gold ones that I wrote first in the blues and the black. And over on the right, in the red, in the orange, and the black are all these. So I can literally line myself up right now and hold those two in my hand right in front of me. I close one eye, I can literally see that. I'd love to have you guys just hold your hands out, line them up with your screen, and take a look at that. Oh man, I can start crying when I just stand here and look at that. That's me. That's me. Feel the weight of those two. Yeah. Yeah. So we hold those two every day. What do you notice about these two lists? The left hand, the right hand. My left hand is me and
One's
my power.
heavier. One's heavier than the other.
Please go ahead.
One's heavier than the other.
One's heavier. Yeah. You feel that? Which one?
Well, the right one.
Right feels heavy, the other feels light.
Yeah.
Yeah. My left hand is me and my power. My right hand is me and my fear. I always feel that. Dwight D. Eisenhower said plans are useless, but planning is essential. So core value statement is the planning we're going to do just to close up this very first half of this, what we're going to do tonight. And I put a template here because it's easy to get lost in a lot of words on this. So I put this template, if it works for you, and I invite you to do this template tonight. If it doesn't land with you and you want to do it another way, I invite you to do that too. The important piece is that we walk away from here with a core value statement. And if you're not sure if you want to do it this way or you do it your own way, do it this way, and then you can rewrite this later. This should be shifting around. But this is the template. In my life and business, my core values are, and we're going to actually pick out those top 3 that really connected with us. And we're going to say, I keep those front and center of every decision I make. I'm going to leave this on the screen for you. I am also choosing to keep, and these are 3 from the right hand, 1, 2, and 3 in front of me, so that I consciously make sure they don't hijack me from behind, right? So that's the awareness piece. This is who I am, and this is who I also am, and they're both in front of me, just like those hands. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a minute. Go ahead and type, handwrite, whatever you're doing here. And if you do type it, I'd love you to copy and paste it and throw it into the chat. Man, how wonderful to read a handful of those.
Yeah, and we'll be posting a video of this too, so you'll have it for your future reference.
Happy to share the slides with you too, Robert. Yeah, share it with the group.
Yeah, let's do it.
I see a lot of good writing going on. Sorry, I'm going to put this up with my answers in here, but you can get a look at this. Yeah, kicks my ass to see that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so let's move towards closing this up. I'm going to bring up the chat if anybody wants to share one of theirs. I sure would love to see. Oh, I think there are some there. I'm just second guessing myself. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone typed those and wants to share their core value statement, you know, I totally get that it's a big ask. Yeah. Let me just look at the screen for a second. People need another minute or so? Are you guys all right? Minute? Finished? You guys are finished? Okay. Cool. Let's wind this one up. We got some more to do on this. So during this course and in life, you're going to be challenged to strengthen your decision-making muscle. That's just the way it is. If anyone is a parent on this call, you have been constantly challenged to strengthen your decision-making muscle and also to pick your battles. That's one of the big keys for this. I will personally own that every success in my life, my personal life, my business, my friendships, my physical health, every single success aligned with my core values, and most disappointments were out of alignment with my core values. Yep, they're when I violated. They're when I let this right hand sneak up from behind me and I didn't hold it in front of me, and it felt all right, but that was the shadow, the darker core value, looking to win, looking for a win. So it wasn't in front of me, so I didn't notice it. This statement that you just wrote for yourself is an antidote. When your core values statement is in place, making decisions will be clear, yes, no. Or that there's something better ahead. You know, another great way to look at a no is that there's something better ahead. My invitation is, even if you set a goal for a week or going a day, I'm going to go Wednesday living by this core value statement. I'm just going to see, just going to observe what comes up. If you can trust yourself and take action, if it's in alignment with the core values, you're going to win. Align with your core values to move your business forward. Come from the place of power instead of fear. Core values, having strong core values attracts opportunity. Fear repels it. Yeah, I know every single adult, and we're adults on here, every single adult has had fear about something. Clear core values. Clear core values attracts opportunity. Having fear will repel those opportunities. Good. So there's a hell yes and a hell no. No one in the world ever said hell maybe. So know that we're looking for strength here, power instead of fear. Good. Hey, before we move on to this next piece, I'm going to do a little piece about customers, because I know a lot of us, we're all dealing with customers, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person. We're going to do a little piece of that. Let me stop the sharing and just what's happened here in the last 25 minutes. Anyone want to, oh my gosh, look at that chat. You guys love this. Optimism is bad for you. Good. In my life and business, my core values are trust and service. Thank you. Core values are creativity, perseverance, responsibility, keep those front and center, choosing to keep fear of failure, imposter syndrome, procrastination, and letting overwhelm move me to inaction in front of me so that I can constantly make sure they don't hijack me from behind. Carissa, thank you so much. Beautiful. Boys, that feels empowering. Where are you? Wave your hands or something. Let me see. I wonder if you're on the screen. Hey, Paula, awesome. Carissa, excellent. Thanks for doing that work. Really fantastic. Wow, I see you. I see you there. Then life and business, family, serving charity. Wonderful. Yeah, beautiful. Integrity and balance. Yeah. Good. Any questions, comments, insights, anything you want to bring to discussion for a couple minutes before we move on to the next part? I'd love to just make sure everyone feels really clear on that and has that. I think you can, under the participants tab, maybe, I don't know if you guys have the power to unmute yourself, but under the participants tab, I think you should be able to say unmute or raise hand, one of those, and then Rob can unmute you. Oh, there you go. Kawar is raising your hand. I'm going to ask you to unmute, or you can just go old school and raise your hand. We have that. We have the technology. Hey, Kawar.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Between mission statement and core values.
Sorry, the beginning of what you said cut out. Could I hear it again?
Okay. Mission statement and the core values. What is the difference?
Right. Core values, internal facing. Mission statement, external facing. Yeah. Mission statement is what your customers see when they look over the counter. Core values are what you see when you look in the mirror.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah, boy, that's really a good question. Kill it.
Thank you.
Really empowering. Wonderful. Good. Anyone else have
I'll throw something in there, Barry. So there's your personal core values. Is that separate than your core values of your business values, or how are those related?
Yeah. It's nice to think that we can live in airtight containers, but as I've grown up, I found that really, when I think I was doing that, I was young and fooling myself. Looking back on life, I can always see the core values drove through everything. When I was young performer on the road and not living the best life, it showed up in my work. So I don't know that we can purely exist and have core values that are personal and business. It's going to bleed in. Now, your business as an entity is going to have what Kawar asked about before. It's going to have a mission statement. It's going to have values. It's going to have these pieces that the business does. But if you're the business owner, that's a clear tube. It's just impossible to be a big a-hole in your personal life and go be the, the wonderful business person that attracts all the opportunities. We don't have the bandwidth to do that. Plus, especially, and that may have been possible back when the world used the yellow pages, but it's really difficult to pull that off right now in a social world. I mean, it's really, really hard to do that. Way better to clean up the baggage. Transparency, owning the shortcomings of ourselves, of our business, where we do. I have two big online businesses, and if a customer either isn't opening my emails or has never jumped into one of my offers, I just figure we're not a match, and I find one of my competitors and I say, hey, why don't you come on a podcast? Come on, let me interview you for my entire list, and let's get all these people who have never joined anything that I've done onto your list. I mean, to me, that's like connection. That's hell yes to me. So that kind of stuff really comes back. So yeah, balance at home and work. That's it. Good stuff. Just close that notification down. Very good. Good. Anyone else have something they want to bring up about this one before we jump into a piece that we're going to do that's a little more focused on the business customer relationship, which is a great continuation from this. All right, not yet. Okay, I'm the only one moving my arm, so I'm not going to. I'm going to say no on that one. We'll hold out. Good stuff. All right, let me jump back in. And I combine these presentations. I'm going to keep this one just a tad shorter because I know Rob's got more to do. Oh, yeah, we did that. Hey, this is a nice extra credit piece. If you have a business partner, a spouse, partner, I share mine with my son who's 18 now. And the first thing when I wrote mine, I just said, hey, I want to share this with you so you actually know like the light and the darkness inside of me. And that's really powerful. Share your core value statement with someone who supports you, right? Someone who believes in you, someone who has your back. Share your core value statement with that person. Very empowering. Yay. Let's look at market and exceeding customer expectations, because this is something you're going to be doing whether you're online or not. This is something I have a lot of experience in. I coach some super high 6- and 7-figure businesses on launching, on getting their messaging really clear and how to do that, building their email list, delivering their products, launching, having a big lot of tension in the slingshot, launching a product, having a cart open and a cart close date. That's the kind of stuff I do all week long with 6- and 7-figure business owners. So use my brain for this and be writing down your questions as we move through this. But my question, is who do you serve in this thing? How deeply do you understand them? Who do you serve and how deeply do you understand them? Their decision to do business with you depends on your answers to those two, knowing who you serve and how deeply you understand them. Your ideal customer probably doesn't believe you at first. I know that may be a little tricky to hear. Maybe there's some conflict about it, but there's so much competition. There's so many reviews. There's so much skepticism. There's noise. Your ideal customer will rarely, doesn't maybe a little harsh, but rarely believes you the first time they find you. It often takes 7 to 10 impressions, even for someone to remember you. So let me hear about a few of your ideal customers. Drop it in the chat. Just say like, my customer is a 35 to 50 female, empty nester, whatever it is. Write 1 or 2 qualities of your ideal customer in the chat, and let's just take a look at those. It's a good practice just to see how clear we are on them. A couple of these really should be able to roll off your tongue almost instantly. in Showbiz Blueprint, my ideal customer has been working state fairs or Renaissance festivals or birthday parties for more than 5 years and knows their show is better and knows they deserve to be making more money and is physically, emotionally, and creatively ready to play bigger on a bigger stage. They may have a desire to do a TED Talk, to work for corporate audiences, to 10x their salary. Like those are all things I know about my ideal customer. Women and men, able and willing, desiring positive change in their life. They are smart and feel stuck. Yeah, that's really a good one. 65 plus who needs assistance, does not understand Medicare or Medicare. Whoa, that's a nice one. Real good clarity on that one. Anyone who eats from age 5 on. Teresa Sue, that's so funny. I would totally work with you to fine tune that because that's everyone. And 99.99% of the people in the world aren't right for you, but there's a 7-figure business in that 0.01%. Your work, Teresa Sue, is just kind of say it's women 30 to 35. Maybe they affect their kids, but really there's a person who relates to how you look, how you sound, your education, the first opportunity they meet you. There are people who relate to that, and that's your ideal customer. Industry and commercial property management, awesome. Even that could be super refined, Jim, you know, above $1 million in Central California region, you know, whatever it is. Like, there is no one message for any business that will apply to somebody else. Like, you'll know, ideally, when the right person sees your ad copy, your landing page, your website, gets an email from you, sees a video that you make, hears you interviewed, it should do 2 things. It should make some of the people who are listening to that go, oh my gosh, where has Jim been all my life? He totally understands like the industry and commercial property management stuff that I need for my business. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of people that say, who is this lunatic? Like, be so strong with your sound bites, with your talking points, that you attract that person so powerfully, and that the other people just think, you know, you're on the tail end of a bad mushroom trip. Like, that's how strong your sound bites should really be. Good. Paul said all ages who need help with their thoughts, emotions, behavior, and bad memories. Everything I said to refining the avatar, Paul, definitely run all that through. And I have no doubt that you could help everybody, but there's a peak in there of people who relate to who you are, and looking at your past customers and the successes is really a way to do it. Word of mouth referral. Those are always the best. Can't touch that. Stuart, that was Stuart. Tanisha, my ideal customer is small business that order in bulk. Huh, really interesting. Yeah, there's a way to speak to those people. All right, these are so good. I'm just scanning by, and if I read all these, we'll be late, but look at these. Mike said every residential property owner in Placer County. Wow. The word every scares me, because if you serve everyone, you serve no one. It's really tough. I have no doubt you could, but when you're out, when your public facing message stuff is out there, who looks at you and says, hell yeah, Mike's my guy because he wears a tool belt. I picked our realtor. This is a great story. We were going camping in Forestville in 2002. We had a 3-month-old kid in the back of the car, and we had never gone up Highway 49. My wife and I had the kid in the back of the car, and we got just past the Target store where it starts to get pretty. And I said, oh my God, let's call a realtor and just see what life is like up here. And we were looking through all the realtors on the phone, and one, Cheryl Berg, who was awesome, she had a dog. And we called her because she had a dog. So that's not every residential, like she could help everyone, but right away her picture said, if you're dog friendly. And we loved our dogs. I mean, that's kind of who we were before we had the kid. And we still have 2 dogs. So that was a no-brainer. 18 years later, when we sold our house, we just called Cheryl again, even though in the 18 years we'd made probably half a dozen friends who were realtors. You know, it's like, it was that consistent marketing, and I just loved that. So that's the kind of piece. What can you do so that your avatar so deeply feels the connection with you the second they see you? And like I said, the other 99% of the people go, this guy's nuts, you know, just is not for us. So this is good. Oh gosh, I can go through so many, 28 more messages. You guys keep doing this avatar work. I'm gonna move on. So understanding your customers makes assessing viability pretty dang simple in your business. Why would they shop anywhere else? This is what I want to know. Like when I saw that picture of Cheryl, I was like, we're done. We're not looking for any other realtor. I didn't even care what happened. That was it. We were done because she had a dog in the picture. So how do you communicate? He who talks the most leaves with the product. A great saying from, I don't know, one of the great salespeople from the past, sales trainers. But how do you communicate? That's what I said. Get really clear on the sound bites and the talking points that everybody relates to you. Like that's all you need. You don't need to talk a ton. You need to have to say the right things to connect with them. How do they learn about you? Is it a strategic launch? Is it word of mouth? I saw some of those. Is it advertising? Regardless of what it is, be congruent with kicking away a whole bunch of people so that the right ones really feel connected. And it hurts. It's hard as a small business owner to say, I want to rule out a whole bunch of people, but that's where you get the cream. So what's their first experience? Is it a give or a take? And some of this I will own that a lot of this was written for when I did a class for Rob that was all online people. If you're doing something that's brick and mortar in person, which is shifting right now anyway, I mean, there can't be a whole lot of it in person right now. But think about how you can do this. The first time they walk into your business, is it a give or a take if they land on a page? Is there a delicious opportunity for them to leave a name and email address in exchange for something that tells them a new opportunity or gives them a tiny bit of transformation towards that opportunity? Is it a give or is it a take? And if you're in a live store, does the first person who walks up to you and just says, how's your day? Is it a give for a conversation? Or is it a, can I help you find something? Or is it a rude, what do you want? Or is it silence? Where is all this stuff? What's that first experience? Is there a value add? Is there some way their life is better by walking into your store or landing on your webpage? Is there information without an ask? Are you giving something, even if that something is just an opportunity? Like I have right on my page for Showbiz Blueprint, I've used so many headlines over the years to bring people into the funnel. And I think the one that's probably up there now, it says, because every entertainer in the world measures their success in the number of days they're doing shows, they're juggling, they're doing magic. That's always been the gold standard for measuring how successful you are, how many days you're on the road. My offer on my landing page is, I teach you about the business of show business so that one day you can measure your success by the number of days you're home. Just taking common wisdom, the way they've always thought about it, and flipping it on its head. And then if they put their name and email in, I actually deliver something that they can do right away for a quick win. So if it's a live store, what's the opportunity that you can give them right away? Good. Is it an offer, a product within it, with an order form? So know what their first experience with you is. Each of these are viable options. Your market will dictate the expectations, right? Online, of course, people want something. That's why they go to a website. Interesting bit of data though. Be really careful about your words on your website, the pictures, everything there. It's so important that it does what I talked about earlier, and that it rules out the wrong people and really just hugs, like warm, fuzzy hugs, the right people. I get to watch a lot of heat maps because of the world I play in. I get to watch six-figure Facebook advertising campaigns. I got to watch the Tony Robbins, Dean Grazioso launch. I was in on the Facebook marketing for that. We were changing ads every 20 minutes based on test results. They were getting so many hits. Most people click on a website and their mouse never moves any further than a couple inches away from the back button. That's frightening to think about. But really, it's so important that the photo, that the words, the headline, it's not just a bunch of text, whatever it is, your market dictates the expectations. If it's artist, make it artistic. If it's healthy, make it look really healthy and have a line that raises an opportunity in their head. Like that could be me. I want to be that person, whoever that is. I want that. So what kind of customers do you have? Do you have return customers? Are they emotional buyers, logical buyers? Are they knowledge, or are they novice? There's a whole bunch of different types of buyers, and how you speak to them really talks about the copy, the pictures, the layout, everything, the way the store is presented. Are they price conscious? Are they quality conscious? Experience seekers? Were they recommended to you? Speak to your customers, only your customers. I know it's really hard because I saw some of you said I serve everyone, and that's hurting your business. Become obsessed with knowing who your avatar is and speaking to them, dressing like them, looking like they expect you to look. It's really good. It's really good to own something, to own a character. Apple's not worried about taking people away from Android. Android has some 90% of the world market. But in America, there's a feeling around Apple, right? They're there when you come to them, when you're ready to step up. It's a really interesting, really bit of interesting marketing. A great book I could recommend. It was written probably, 10, 15 years ago. Simon Sinek wrote a book called Start With Why. Holy cow, will that blow your mind wide open? Really good. So controlling the customer. Let me see how we're doing on time here. Let me just take a quick peek. Oh, 50. Yeah, I want to get to questions. So control the customer experience. Without a reason to engage, most will hit the back button or tell you they'll be back. If you're in a live store, the spoiler alert to that is they won't be back. There's no way. Price is the simple question that people will often ask about. How much is this? The truth is that so few people really buy based on price, especially higher ticket items. They are always looking for a transformation or an experience. Show them this and price becomes nothing more than a line item. And that is 100% honest across the board. Show them a possibility, an opportunity, or a transformation. Price will become a line item. And then the ownership experience, you have to start planting. How is their life different after they work with you, after they buy with you, after they're on your email list, after they become a customer? How is their life different? And that is something that is so subtly worked into the entire mission of your business. All right. Questions, comments, insights. I know that was way too much. That could have been a week-long course, but I want to just, oh my gosh, I just went off screen share and there's still people here. Thank God, this fear was scared everyone away. Good, you guys. What's coming up for you during that?
I have a question.
Please, hi. Welcome.
So I think a lot of people with their comments have the same idea, like with, they're dealing with people that are hard customers. So like for instance, with starting a soils business, I want to get farmers to stop using pesticides and herbicides, and it's like an addiction, and it works for them for a short term. So it's not exactly the people that I would feel that warm hug from. It's more based on education or.
Yep. So here's the thing, Hillary, do you have access to them? Do you have access to a fair amount, like an email list or a podcast that talks to farmers or newsletters, websites? Are there places where these folks hang out that you can start to show up?
Sort of. I mean, yeah, I could. I don't right now. I'm not connected that way, but yeah. I know of like UC Extension offices that do.
Is it like, who are the people? Are they farmers? Is that like what it is?
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I guess it would be, I mean, I've had ideas like just ask if you can do, a small plot and compare how this other thing works and, compared to what they're doing.
Right, that's really cool. So look at this. I just brought up farmers. I just went into the Apple podcast and typed farmers. There are at least 20. I mean, it just showed 20 right away. The Manure Spreader podcast. That's pretty funny, right? But, writing up a segment proposal, which I'm happy to come back and talk about if Rob would like. But what you really have to do is get in front of people who have an audience and not. It's crazy making to think I'm just going to wave this flag forever and someone's going to see me. They have to start hearing about you and seeing two things that I talked about on those slides, an opportunity that exists for them. And if it's farmers, it may be financial. You may be a teacher. In addition to this, you may say, if you have organic or if you grow this way, your yield and your profits can be so much higher, and you're eligible for these grants, and you can sell at Whole Foods, and you can, so you become an educator really of the opportunity, and then you start to give transformation. And this is for everyone's business. We have to show our yet to be customers, our prospects, that there's an opportunity, that it's the luckiest day in your life that you met me, because I understand this opportunity and I'm going to talk about it. Put your name and email in here, listen to this podcast.
So would you still be that specific then with like who you're attracting? Or, I mean, would it just be farmers for me, or would it be like a certain?
Yeah, I
You
don't know
know,
I don't know your business well enough. I'd love to hear about it. I mean, what I heard was it was about gardening, or is there for gardeners also?
it could be.
Yeah, home gardeners. Very different message, right? Between those two, a home gardener is not going to care about their yield or their profit margin, but boy, are they going to care about, you know, having a yard that their grandkids can come over and play in and not worry about biting into something that was made from Monsanto. You know, so it's a different message, and it's a great example of how you can take your knowledge in an industry and literally shape it around a group that's proven themselves to be there. So home gardening is massive. There's big websites. I know there was just this summit with this woman I coach, Stacy Murphy, who ran like the gardening summit, and she had like 25 speakers on, and it was a 6-figure launch. It was a very big launch, selling the recordings of that summit. Yeah, that was for home gardeners. So boy, what I can tell you is always be thinking about what's the opportunity that exists for this person, and how can I paint a picture of that opportunity for them, such that when they land somewhere, I've created a landing page that offers such a delicious peek at an opportunity that they drop their name and email in my box, and I can deliver something that gives them a quick and easy win. And then I can begin to nurture that list. So that's probably about 4 weeks of training in email marketing that I'm trying to squeeze into something quick. But if you can give people a quick win on an opportunity that exists for them, you're way ahead of the game.
Thank you.
And that's even true if you're somewhere in person, like if you're at a farmer's market, like even having something where somebody comes up and there's a quick win, you know, and there's some headline that just says, are you growing with Roundup? Are you eating Roundup? You know, just something that really catches people. Oh, Clubhouse. Holy cow. That's been on my phone a little bit lately, Ty. I didn't even know about that. And boy, have I just been enjoying some listening in the background of different conversations. So yeah, Hillary, if you have an invitation to Clubhouse, you can get on that somehow. It's free and by invitation lately, but put up a board.
Hey, Barry, I know you're on a roll. I'm just gonna interject here for a second, if that's okay. Well, what I'd like to do is give up a little bit of my time, give you a little bit more time. And one area, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm sure everyone's feeling super inspired. There's a couple dots that are just like waiting to be connected, and you're the person to do it. I think is, you know, you've done the core values and the value statement, and you did touch a little bit on the mission and how that's, you know, customer facing. But could you just kind of make a stronger connection there and talk a little bit about how your core values and value statements, and then how that influences your mission statement?
Sure, you bet. So where this all leads to is having a mission statement. I think that's what Rob wants to have, you know, for your business. And a mission statement, and I told Kawar earlier that's the forward facing. So a company can say, our mission is, you know, and, you know, big companies have had mission statements that we all know, and they're very simple. But at the bottom of them is, what do you want? Like Hillary, from just hearing Hillary talk, like she creates a world of maybe healthy, I create a healthy planet by. So there's I create a, and then a line by. So the first one is the vision you have for what your business does. I create a, and what's my vision? By, what's the action? Personal mission for me, I create a world of open and honest communication by setting that example. Personal mission statement for me and my business. I create a world of open and honest communication by setting that example. So I'll drop that into the, just so everyone has that little template. And this is a vision by action. Yeah, really simple. Imagine if you walked into Hillary's store or came up to a booth she was doing and it said, I create a world, I create a chemical-free world of abundant food by using, by planting, by working soil, whatever that statement is, it's so powerful that someone sees it and right away they go, holy shit, this is my person. This is what I've been looking for right here. That's what I want. Whatever it is, here's my wallet. Let's go. Let's do business. You know, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's going to be the right people. And then the slow drip, the long tail of this for Hillary's business is to start appearing on podcasts with sound bites and talking points that some of these people have never thought about. And you drive them to a page at the end of that where they can become part of your world through an email list. So that's a real simple template for a mission. You can do that personal for a business. Cannabis dirt at home garden store. I assume it's a market for it. You think there's a market for cannabis? Yeah, isn't that funny? Cannabis dirt. It's got to be like regular dirt, but you know, they probably have some mission in the statement. You know, we feed our dirt stuff that produces stronger cannabis, whatever. Yeah, I don't know that world well enough, but yeah. Good, Robert. Does that help tie that together? Is there you're working the comments? I'm really not following.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I really appreciate it. And you know, one of the things just hearing you talk, it just reminds me about when you create your marketing copy, it makes it so much easier where you're saying, well, what's my core values? What's my mission? And instead of just posting this random stuff, if somehow you just make sure that it's related to that, and then the voice of your company comes out and really projects your uniqueness. And it's really all kind of circles back to your core values, your mission, your vision, and all that.
I love that. Well, yeah, I picture everything we did tonight, you guys, as building your own umbrella that you can stand under. Everything else falls away. And from this place, you're there protected from everything, from the people who want to steal your time, from the opportunities that don't make any sense. And you're just in alignment with the vision, the mission, understanding your avatars, your core values. It's a lot of work. We've done this work. If you listen to this again, I promise you to grab the recording and listen to this one more time. It'll be like you never heard it before, because there's a whole bunch that's already happened inside of you. So do that, do the work. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you, Robert. And thanks everyone, man. 80 something people working on their business. This is a happy night for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barry. That was, man, I can always count on you to just hit a grand slam. I really appreciate you showing up. And I always learn something from you. So it's great. Thank you. And feel free to stick around. And if I have your permission, I might ask to channel some people's questions and reach out to you.
I'll keep it on. I'm going to do a little lifting. So cool. Thanks.
All right. And send me those presentations if you will.
Of course. Thank you. All the nice comments too, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. That was pretty awesome, huh? That's good. Great. So we're going to change gears here a little bit, but before we change gears, I'd like to, while it's still fresh in everybody's mind, I'm not going to really address the chat comments, but I'm sure that Barry's conversation brought up a lot of additional questions maybe you didn't have time to ask. So if you could put in the chat, we do have a little, it's a little bit more freeform on Thursday. So if there's something that you want to talk about or spend some time, put it in chat so I'll know, like, oh yeah, someone mentioned like building email lists or other things that you want, just to make sure we cover that. There's a lot of stuff to go over. So maybe we'll have some time on Thursday. So just let that rip, if you will, if you could, and I will be sure to pay attention to it. So speaking of Thursdays, last Thursday, I spent a little time talking about the business model canvas. I'm going to share this on the screen right now. This is something that is at the core of the business plans suck for now. Like I said, I've gone over this a little bit, but I want to make sure that everyone that didn't see it sees it. So this is a one-page business planning sheet. Nicole is going to send you a copy of this. And it takes some of the things that Barry touched on, the values, how you're going to sell through online or at retail, who your customers are, what their profiles are, what activities are you doing in your business, what activities are hell yes and what are not. So it's a way to organize your business, to think about your business. And just as a reminder, the goal of this class and the participation in this class is to launch your business by the end of this course. And in the most simple way, you can take your product or service and put it on Etsy or put it on Facebook Marketplace or build a very basic Wix or Shopify store and start selling. And that's going to get you going. But as you move through and you start filling in the blanks and filling in the gaps, there's all these different sections of your business to think about. So what I'd like to do, and you will be getting this, again, you'll be getting a blank copy of this. I have resources, websites, and this so far is going to be the most homeworky type assignments for you to do. This week, you could put some time into this. So what I'd like to do is we're going to watch a video. It's 10 minutes, so it's going to take up, you're going to be getting a copy via email if someone, Charlene. So I'm going to watch this video. We're going to get it rolling. And this is a guy named Steve Blank. It's about the business model canvas. It's an overview of what this sheet is that you're. I want to make sure that you're getting the right sound. Sorry about this.
Startup is, how is your company going to be organized? And what we now know is the most efficient way to think about all the pieces, just all the parts, is by a business model. And so the next question is, okay, Steve, you just told me to think about a business model, but what is a business model? What are all the pieces? Well, let's take a look. And a business model is how a company creates value for itself while delivering products or services for its customers. Now, if you think about it, in the old days, we'd think about how to organize a company around functional organizations. We think, no, a company is about its sales department or its engineering department, and you would draw an org chart. But now we're going to draw a very different diagram. We're going to draw a diagram of how to think about all the pieces of a business. And so let's take a look at these 9 boxes. 9 boxes to describe any company from the world's largest to a 2-person startup starting in your parents' garage. Let's take a look at the first piece called the value proposition. The value proposition answers the question, what are you building and for who? The value proposition says, hey, it's not about your idea or product, it's about solving a problem or a need for a customer. That is, what pain are you solving? What gain are you creating? And more importantly, who are your customers? Now, value proposition is a fancy word for what product or service are you building. This is where you normally would list all your features and here's all the speeds and feeds and benefits and whatever, but you're really going to be asking a different question than might have been used to. It's not all about your technology. Your technology is just part of the value proposition. Customers really don't care about your technology. The customers are trying to solve a problem or fulfill a need. By the way, we'll be talking about this through multiple lectures. The difference between a problem and a need is, a problem is, I have an accounting problem, or I want to use a word processor. And those types of products solve problems. But there are other things that human beings do, like I want to be entertained, or I want to have a date. Those are some basic hardwired social needs. Or I want to communicate with my friends, like Facebook or Twitter. Those are needs. Needs are different than problems. And by the way, if you could find products that solve needs, your total available market, as you'll see later, is huge compared to I solve specific problems. So the next thing is, who are my customers? Who are they and why would they buy? And as you'll hear a number of times, your customers do not exist to buy, you exist for them. And what you're going to do by getting out of the building is figuring out all their geographic, social characteristics, demographics, such that you actually could draw and put up a picture on your wall of who the archetype is or who the persona is of your customer. And it turns out that in most startups, you might have more than one or two or three types of customer archetypes and personas, but you need to understand them in detail. And there is no possible way you could have anything but a hypothesis on day one of who they are. The next is channels. How does your product over here get to your customers over here? And we use distribution channels to do that. Now, what's really interesting is pre-1990s, the only channels to get to a customer was a physical channel. That is, you went to a store, you had salespeople, there was physical distribution. But since the mid-1990s, in the last couple of decades, we now have virtual channels. The web, mobile, cloud. And so distribution channels, the first question you want to ask is, how will I be selling and how will I be distributing my products? Are they through physical channels or are they web mobile? Or given today, almost every physical channel also has a web presence. What is the relationship of how your product gets from your company to the customers? Customer relationships is kind of the fourth piece. And customer relationships has a really interesting interaction with these other three pieces. It basically says, how do I get customers, how do I keep them, and how do I grow them? And just like thinking about distribution channels, these are very different for web mobile than they are for physical channels. But visually, they kind of look like this double-sided funnel. So let's just take a look at quickly a web example. In getting customers, you're going to be worrying about how do I acquire them? That is, how do I get them even to my website? How do I activate them? That is, how do I make them do something? And then later on, we'll see after I got them, how do I keep them around? That is, how do I not lose them through attrition and churn? And then what can I do once I have customers to make them spend more money or use my product even more? And so one of the things we'll be thinking about is how do I get, keep, and grow customers? And just like every other step, you might have hypotheses on day one, but you're only going to figure this out when you're out of the building. The next thing is revenue streams. How do you actually make money from your product and service being sold to customer segments? You know, revenue streams basically ask the question, what value is the customer paying for? And it actually has you think about what's the strategy of how I'm going to capture that value. Is it I'm going to just have a direct sale and it's a transaction based on price? Is it a freemium model where I'm going to give away the product for free and hope that some portion convert later? Is it a license or subscription model? That revenue model is different than the pricing tactics. That is, what is the dollar or pound amount or euro amount that I'm going to be charging? Again, the only way to figure this out is being able to interact with tens or hundreds or thousands of customers till you finally understand what the right revenue stream and revenue model is. The next piece you want to think about is what are the key resources? What do you need to make the business model work? What assets are important? And what's an example of an asset in a key resource? Well, finance. Do you need capital? Do you need a line of credit? Some assets and resources are physical. Do you need physical plant, like a manufacturing line? Do you need specialized machines? Do you need vans and for delivery? Do you need cars? Is there something else you need? Is there intellectual property you need? Is there patents you need to acquire or protect? Do you need to acquire customer lists? Or is it just that you need to get great people, great software programmers in a specific area, or great hardware designers, or great manufacturing people? And then finally, again, the interaction between intellectual and human capital that's another key resource. What specifically do you need to do to keep these people, and who are they? The next piece is, who are your key partners and suppliers? And partnerships are kind of interesting, is we need to ask ourselves, before what's the deal, is what exactly are we acquiring from partners? And also, what activities are they going to perform and when? And this is where startups sometimes make a mistake of thinking, well, large companies do partnerships, I guess I need those too on day one. Turns out the types of partnerships you need in year one are certainly not the ones you're going to need in year 3 or 5 or 10. And the types of partnerships could be strategic alliances, joint ventures, just regular suppliers and buyers. And so you need to be thinking through who they are and actually getting out of the building and testing them. Next are key activities. What's the most important things you need to do for the business to make the business model work? Are you in the production business? Are you making something? Or are you in the problem-solving business, like you're doing consulting or engineering? Or are you managing supply chains? What are the key activities you need to become expert at? And then finally, all this adds up on the left-hand side over here to costs. What are the costs and expenses to operate the business model? One of the interesting things about cost is it's not just the obvious ones like people or buildings or materials. What you're really going to be asking are, what are the entire costs to operate our business model? And so you want to think about what are the most important costs you need to worry about? What are the most expensive resources you're going to need to pay for? And what key activities are the most expensive? And then you want to ask the typical accounting things. What are fixed costs? What are variable costs? Are there economies of scale? And you want to start getting a good handle on what it is that will end up costing you money to run your business.
Okay. Well, I hope that was, I don't know, it might have been a bit overwhelming. There sure was a lot of information in there. But the takeaway that I'd love to have at least a minimum everyone take away from this is that there are different ways of looking, different areas of your business to concentrate on. And you can just start at a really high level and start asking yourself questions, making assumptions. And you heard the narrator say, get out of the building, meaning you could just say, my customers are 65-year-old women who are thinking about getting on Medicare or something like that. But you need to test that assumption and what the value is of your company, what the value proposition is, or there's all these assumptions. And the only way to really know if you're right is if you go ask people or you go test these things. So there was a ton of information, and I'm going to give you a couple resources if this resonated with you and you want to dig deeper into it. There's ways to do that. This will be in an email, but this there's an online I don't know what happened here. There's an online course by Steve Blank, and I have a link here. Steve Blank is a professor at Stanford, business professor at Stanford. He teaches the business model canvas, so it's like the real deal. And this is a free class on Udacity that takes you through each quadrant. It's geared towards, it uses tech startups, software startups, but you can really apply it to any business, and it's not a giant leap to get the concepts. So this is free, and it can supplement your work here in the Business Creator course. And one suggestion I have is that does take a while to go through this course, and on the video player, there's a little control where you can double the speed. And so the guy talks really fast, but after a minute or two, you get used to it, and you can rip through the whole class pretty quickly. There's another, so there's a book put out by Strategizer, and strategizer.com is awesome for business startups. So there's this business model generator book that is fantastic, and you can buy it at a variety of places. And if you really like the books, that they're not really dense with words, pictures, and high level stuff, just it's, you know, not this excruciatingly painful book to read. It's actually kind of fun. And there's other books that they offer too. One area of the business model, or one quadrant, or if you're going to tackle anything, the value proposition is something I highly recommend you focus on in the business model canvas. So when you talk about your value proposition, it is what you are actually offering your customers. And just like last week, where you're not selling the candle, you're selling a romantic date, or you're creating an experience. You're filling a need. That's more than just, I need light in my dark house, because then they're gonna, it's a 97-cent purchase at Walmart, but you're selling something that's different, that's experience, and in that experience, you can communicate your value of your product. It might sound kind of I don't know, theoretical in a way. So you're going to get a download, a file of this value proposition worksheet, and it's a system to create your value proposition. You can't see it really that well here, but there's a link that's provided that you download the value proposition canvas, and then you sign up. I didn't feel right about sending you this PDF because they want to collect your email address. So on that site, you can get an easy to follow instructions on how to create your value proposition. And my feeling is that if you have that down and you're really, really solid about that, a lot of other things are going to fall into place. So what we're doing here is we're kind of taking you from what are your personal core values and getting clear on that, keeping in mind your shadow values. Then you have a vision for your company and what you want to bring into the world. And from that is born your mission statement. So you can help communicate what your business is about to your customers. And when you have your value statement and your value proposition together, you can really, it's like how you can tell the customer what you're providing, why they should buy from you. And so all of these things are really core to launching your business. It's a lot of heart work as well as work in your head, but it's really setting the foundation to make decisions in the future, how to position your company, what it is you're selling, how to make decisions, because there's just zillions and zillions of decisions to make. And if you're really clear on all this foundational work, then it's going to make your life a lot easier. Like Barry said, it's not a crisis every time something comes up. It's not an emergency. So there's this heart work and this feeling work, and really getting comfortable with what your business is. And so the assignment here is you're going to get the value proposition worksheet to do your value proposition worksheet. Bonus on top of that, fill in the business model canvas. There's resources for the business model canvas. There's this video series, type in business model canvas, in YouTube, you're going to get it. And if you want to do value proposition, you know how to search YouTube. Dig into some resources there, get the book. So that's the second layer if you really, really want to dig into this. And I think it'd be highly valuable for you. And so now you have this foundation of all that stuff I just talked about. And then there's like, oh my gosh, I need to hook up MailChimp to my WordPress to buy this and get the payment processing going and the licensing and the name and the register and the domain and the hosting and like there's all that stuff that is challenging. It has its own challenges. And so there's this dance that you have to do to keep on keeping on with registering your domain and doing your licensing and all of that stuff. But if that's all you do, you're more likely to miss the mark than not. Because there's other people out there that have really honed in and know specifically their target market, know specifically what messages resonate with them, know specifically what price they're willing to pay, and on and on and on and on. So there is this balance between, I don't know, busy work isn't the right way to say it, but there's a lot of tasks to start a business. It could be overwhelming. And then there's this other work. So I'm just encouraging you, we're on week 2. This is a good time to complete this work. So just have a few minutes here. Let's open it up to questions and also chat. You will be getting the presentations and the homework assignment material in an email. So lay it on me.
Okay, here's my silly question for the end of the class.
Okay.
As usual. This popped in my head during the class today. Big city trends with small town prices. I live in a smaller town, and African American women usually drive to Chicago or Indianapolis to get our latest trends and hairstyles and weaves and that stuff. So big city trends with small town prices, is that like a value proposition or a business model? What do you think that is? Or is it something I need to get out my head?
It's like a value proposition, and I think that it's a great start, and there's a lot of ground to test that, because you're making an assumption. Are they buying your product on price? Because price is there. And if they live in a rural area, do they want to front that they're big city? But like, what is the motivation to be city if they are in the country? And that just might be they're trendsetters, or they're ahead of the fashion curve.
Okay.
So it probably has room for refinement, but I think you're on the right track.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Oh, there's 19 messages below the fold here. Yeah, people like the tagline. Okay, so yes, we're talking about mission and vision and all these things. I wouldn't get too caught up like, oh, is that a value proposition? Is that a tagline? Is that a marketing thing? I just want to remind you and encourage you to be able, like, who cares, at some level, who cares about all those labels of what they are? If you can just talk about your business with excitement and confidence that reflects what your business is and who you are, and get them to engage with you and get excited about your product and enter into a dialogue. I don't care if it's your mission statement or whatever it is, but all in all, wrap it up in a nice tiny package. Be able to talk about your business with confidence and get people interested in what you're doing, and be able to listen and take their feedback and incorporate it into how you move forward. So with that, I'm seeing it's 7:30. Love to end on time. I'll hang out for about 15 minutes if anyone wants to talk. We'll see you on Thursday, same time, same link. Do your value proposition. And I'd also encourage you to recheck in with your accountability partners, and I want to hear more about that on Thursday. So until then, thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, thank you. See you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye. It was great having you today.
Few minutes is just going to be me and you. We'll have to, get a glass of water or something.
Okay.
That's where it's come with us.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Barry. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was amazingly fun.
Oh, quick question, Barry. This is Nicole. Medina, I had a question because I know you had mentioned some things about like when Tony Robbins, I think it was the comeback challenge. Is that the one that you're talking about with Dean Graziosi?
No,
Is that the one?
I worked on KBB with him and Dean.
Oh, KBB. Okay, I'm part of KBB actually. So that was a really good one.
Oh man, that was a great program, and the launch of it was, oh my gosh, that was like being on a highway. It was so fun.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, that was like a little bell ringing in my head. You probably gained a lot of information there with me.
Yeah, did you do KBB?
I haven't yet. I have to.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
don't let it sit. It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was involved in a couple other things and had to finish that. So now I'm going to be starting that. So it's good. I'm excited.
Good. Are you in California?
I am. I'm up in El Dorado Hills.
Oh, that's rather cool. Very good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your insight. It was really good.
Yeah, it was a great night. This was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed listening to the rest while I stretched a bit. So yeah, it was fun.
Thanks, Robert. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great week.
Bye.
Thanks for being in the background there, Nicole. You got everything you need for the email?
Yeah. Yep, we're good on the email. The only thing I need is the PowerPoint, and then you'll send me the Zoom link. So, and I put in, we'd be sending those under a separate email. So everybody has the links and the documents that you had sent me earlier. So that email went out. So everybody should have that in their email. And then as soon as I get that YouTube link, then we'll send that out with the PowerPoint presentation from Barry.
Yeah, that'll be sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a link right now to that, Nicole, just so you have that.
Oh, perfect.
A link to
the, it's a Google Slides, but you can download it as a PowerPoint or PDF.
Okay.
Probably best to just give people as a PDF.
Well, Barry, do you mind if I throw on a SBDC logo on that?
No, of course not. I already have it. I have a SCR Commons. Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Hi, this is Stacy Litton. Nicole, I didn't get an accountability partner email. Is that?
You didn't?
No. When you said like type yes in the comments, I just typed yes, so I didn't include my name. Maybe that's why.
Oh, that could be.
Does anyone online right now not have an accountability partner that wants an accountability partner?
There you
go.
Okay.
I'll pair you with somebody, Stacy. You sent me an email too, right?
Yeah, I did this morning.
Wendy says.
Oh, Wendy said she'd left one.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
So Stacy.
A match made in heaven.
Wendy, yeah. You guys are now partners.
Ooh.
Okay, awesome. So will you send the contact info?
Yes,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
absolutely.
I just emailed you that, Rob, in PowerPoint.
Okay, wonderful. Anyone else want to open up a mic and say hi, ask a question?
Grab a water. It's what's for dinner.
That's true. I just finished dinner. I have a question for you, Barry. Well, for everybody, but since you were talking about it, when narrowing down your ideal customer, I get the whole avatar and all of that. My hope, post-COVID, I guess, is that I'm going to have a wellness center that is somewhat of a community center as well, but will offer different things. I want to sublet to acupuncture, massage, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know that we'd have one ideal customer. I know we could go the pain route, out of pain, we can go the relaxation, et cetera. Do you just pick someone you'd like to hang out and aim for them first? Or what is your trick to picking that one to start with?
Yeah. You know, I always look and help. I mean, I look for myself and then I help coaching with people. Do you have successful customers who are just like a total joy? Like if you could wave a magic wand, you'd create 200 of them.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was going more selfishly who I'd like to hang out with, you know, for fun, but same general idea though.
Right, but part of being an ideal customer is they, you know, they're good clients, you know, and that's part of it. So if you could create a couple hundred of them right away, who are those people? And that's where you start to form language, and really you get that so easily by asking them, you know, by talking to them. What is it that's great about being here? What you know, one of my favorite questions is if we could sit down at lunch and I could answer one question for you, like what would it be? And you know, maybe learn something about the folks from there. You start to see some themes about people who engage and answer, and man, it's just so much easier to be in the flow than trying to change people. I always liken it to, you know, some knucklehead like at a, you know, take it like at a left-wing rally or something, and there's someone on the right, you know, waving a big flag, and you know, it's like
that's going really well these days.
What's that?
I said that's going really well these days, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's probably why it popped into my mind. But like, you know, that's as effective as trying to sell to everybody. It's just like way easier to just get in the flow and have your unique mission statement and core values and you know, the copy and the photo, everything that looks like those people. So as close.
Well, and that's the thing, because I feel everyone can benefit from it. And I know, as you said, you sell to everyone, you sell to no one. And it's not so much about selling. I want to help, you know, whoever I can help. But it sounds like basically you're saying sort of the same thing. Whoever the most ideal is, aim for them and then go from there.
Yeah, especially if they pay, you know, if there's a
that's part of the ideal. Yeah.
That's part of the ideal. Exactly. I want to make sure
that I can help also, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where are you at? Where's your center at?
Nowhere yet. It was in my mind and ready to go, and then COVID hit. So really not a great time, seeing as most things we can't do. I have a few ideas for non-in-person things, massage chairs, and getting kind of creative and trying to incorporate the same stuff, but in different ways. But I haven't fully gotten there yet. And so Loomis, California is where we'll be, hopefully. There's limited real estate and spaces here for that, but that's where I live. So I'd love to have it right here. I love the community. Yeah. Speaking of, we have relatives in Morro Bay. Fantastic. I hope you love it there.
Really? Oh, I love it. My wife and I had our first out of town date here 34 years ago. So
oh, nice.
And we were looking for a place to move all the way from Oceanside up to Portland. And man, this place opened up and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It was a miracle.
Yeah, good. Well, enjoy. Go see the otters.
I know, yeah. The otters. I'm gonna swim. I like bay swimming, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for everything. I'm gonna make myself disappear, but I appreciate it.
Good night. Yeah. Good.
Okay, should we wrap this up? And anyone else have anything burning they want to talk about?
Do the Zoom window wipe.
Thanks
Clear
again,
the energy
Barry.
for the next meeting. Nice to see you guys, both of you. Take care. Good night.
Great presentation, Barry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.